Here's what's coming up on today's show.
If it sounds too good to be true, it is. Don't fall for this stuff. There's no silver bullet, although these people make it sound like, especially in these times, people are falling for these sorts of things. So ask questions, because a lot of times once you get involved in them, you're stuck, and it's unfortunate.
Hello, this is Mark Silverman, managing member and founder of Silverman & Associates, and I'm also a certified financial planner professional. I want to welcome you to the Saving with Silverman podcast. I'm glad you're here. Each week, we'll discuss different financial planning topics because making smarter choices about your money impacts the quality of your life.
You're listening to Saving with Silverman. The one and only Mark Silverman is here. You're a certified financial planner professional, the founder and the managing member of Silverman & Associates in Tucson. It's been said that the sales brochure giveth and the fine print taketh away. You meet with a lot of folks. You may see a financial professional who may turn out to be just a salesman, and they may have glossy brochures, and it's all fancy and really impressive and everything, but doesn't necessarily mean it's good. Let's talk about some of the things that you hear from people when they don't pay enough attention to the fine print. I know that you have certainly talked with people in the past who came in and said, I just got a big rate increase on my long-term care insurance. And, why in the world is this happening? They didn't read the fine print? Is that the case?
Well, I think, people like to hear what they want to hear. And unfortunately, a lot of these people that sell financial products and services, don't, they may say something under their breath and they don't fully disclose the pros and the cons, because there's two sides of it, right? You got to understand the features and the benefits and that sort of thing, and what's the negative. It comes to long-term care insurance, and I'm licensed to sell traditional long-term care insurance. I've never actually sold one. And if you have one, I'm not saying that you don't need it. I'm just saying that a lot of these policies were sold, and, the cost of health insurance these days keeps going up and up, even higher than what inflation's gone up. And so these companies don't even know how to price it. And unfortunately, a lot of the companies that do offer it have gotten to a point where they don't even know how to price it. And so they have to increase it. And they're not just picking on you if you bought one, they're picking on the whole class of people. And we see that where people who've come to us that have bought these policies from other people, unfortunately get to a point where they either have to cut some of the benefits down, where we look to try to see what we can do to keep the cost down or similar to what they were paying, or at some point they can't even afford it anymore and they have to let it go. So, it's an unfortunate situation, but it does happen, and it happens quite a bit, especially in the long-term care arena.
Some folks, when they come in to talk to you and you take a look into their portfolio, they come to the shocking realization that the fees in this annuity that I bought years ago are a lot higher than I was told. That happens a lot, doesn't it?
Well, it's not only the fees. They don't even think there's any fees. They buy these things and they don't even ask the person selling them what you're getting paid, which is a totally fair question. We know, we're fully transparent in what we do. People know exactly what we get paid because they can see it come out of their account. With these commissionable products, especially annuities, they're paying, in full disclosure, they're paying some of these people 7-8%, and that's got to come from somewhere. And it's a fair question if you ask the person selling it. And I won't mention names, but there's a lot of people here on the radio that are selling these products, and you've got to understand, what the downside is. A lot of people think when the market goes up, they get the full return on the market, and that's not the case. Yes, it is true. If the market goes down, they don't get anything. But I would argue, over time, you're better off in some type of investment product that you're not tied to that, and a managed portfolio that's going to do well when the market goes up. And if it goes down, it'll go down. But if you hold it over time, you're going to be fine and have a lot more money in the end and not have all these restrictions, because a lot of people don't realize that their money is tied up, for 10 or more years. And to get out of them, I've had them come to me where they went and met with this other guy that advertised on the radio all the time, and come to find out that it's not the best investment. It wasn't what they thought it was, and they decide they want to get out of it, but they're going to lose 20% of their money, which is huge, because the person that sold it to them made 7-8% on that money. So you've got, if it sounds too good to be true, it is. Don't fall for this stuff. There's no silver bullet, although these people make it sound like, especially in these times, people are falling for these sorts of things. So ask questions, because a lot of times once you get involved in them, you're stuck, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah, and the bad thing is, really sad thing is that a lot of people, when they come in to talk with you for the first time, they have no idea what kind of fees they're paying inside their portfolio in general.
Exactly.
Really surprised to find out. So this mutual fund had done really well for the last several years, but it tanked as soon as I got into it. You ever had anybody say that?
Well, typically you shouldn't be just in one mutual fund. If you're, and we don't even use mutual funds. We're using ETF, exchange traded funds, which, there's lots of reasons. You can Google it, but they're less fees. You know exactly what you hold. They're more tax efficient. There's a lot of good reasons to be in an ETF versus a mutual fund. But if you are in mutual funds, not to say they're bad, but there is better. But if you do have a portfolio of mutual funds, you want to see what it looks like and why you should probably be in ETFs, certainly reach out. But, if you have a portfolio of mutual funds, not all of them are going to do well. I mean, that's if you're in a diversified portfolio. So that's just the way diversification works. And if your advisor that you're working with that puts you into these things doesn't explain it that way, or you don't feel comfortable, that should be a conversation you either have with them or us or somebody. So just understanding how portfolios work and how you build portfolios and the way things work over time should be something you're comfortable with and understand that process.
Let's say Joe Blow came in to see you a month ago. Can you imagine him saying, "Hey, Mark, my life insurance suddenly got really expensive as soon as I turned 65. Has that ever happened? And what does it mean?
Life insurance does go up. I mean, that's the whole thing. And I'm not saying all life insurance is bad. There's good and bad policies. I will tell you this. There's a gentleman here in town that sells these LERPs. And as soon as I get a call, because I get them all the time, what do you think of these LERPs? Run. Terrible idea.
Well, first of all, what does LIRP stand for? LIRP.
It's a life insurance. It's a very complicated life insurance product where you borrow from it. It's so convoluted. I mean, I had a guy that came to me that ended up, unfortunately, was supposed to put $500,000 and ended up putting $200,000 in. He ended up losing over $20,000 by the time he realized what he had. The guy that sold it didn't care because he already got paid, so he wasn't harmed. Although he should have been harmed, in my opinion. But anyways, with life insurance is great to eliminate risk. Life insurance is not an investment. And I'm insurance licensed. I can sell life insurance, and I'm here to tell you, a lot of these guys that are selling this stuff are only selling insurances or annuities, so they're not going to be fair and objective because they can't sell the other stuff. But the problem is, if life insurance is not an investment, it's a way to diversify risk, and if you treat it as that, it can work very well for you. But to treat it as an investment, it's not a good way to accumulate assets.
Yeah. We're talking about reading the fine print here on Saving with Silverman. And Mark, somebody may say, I want to get some money out of this REIT, a real estate investment trust, but they're telling me I can't have it back. And that's because it's not liquid, right?
There's different types of REITs. There's non-traded REIT, which is what you're referring to. We don't sell those. That's another commissionable product. Most of the commissionable products that you're going to see are just not fair, and they're not good. And the people selling them don't really care because they get paid up front and they can care less what you do down the road. You're better off working with a fee-based or fee-only advisor, in my opinion. But there are some REITs that are traded, which you can get in and out of. It gives you some diversification into different types of real estate, and we have those in our portfolios. But the non-traded REITs, the ones that you're talking about where you get locked in, you can't sell them, or if you can sell them, it's for pennies on what you paid. I would stay away from those as well.
Yeah. Mark, I'm going to give out that all-important phone number in just a moment here, but why is it so important here in the year 2024? Why is it so important for folks to give you a call today?
Well, if anything I said resonates you, makes sense, you have questions, maybe you're working with someone and you're not feeling like they're doing their best job for you, or maybe they're limited in the scope that they're doing. I always say, and not to be biased, but I'm a CFP certified financial planner professional. If it were me and I was working with someone, I would only want to work with the CFP. If you're working with someone that's not, ask them, why aren't you a CFP? Let's see what they answer. They either should be working towards it, but there's certainly nothing wrong if you're in the process of getting it, or maybe they're close to retirement and it's too much work for them to do it. But if they take this seriously, they should be a CFP. I believe I'm still the only one on the radio here that is a CFP. Not to say there aren't other CFPs in town, but they're not on the radio. And so, again, do your due diligence. And if it were me and my money, I would want to work with the best. And, again, they should be a CFP in my mind. If they're not, ask them. But it's your call.
Mark Silverman is your certified financial planner professional. Call him at 520-333-7601. Call or text. Leave your name and phone number. You'll get a call back about having a conversation with Mark Silverman at a convenient time. And you can have a complimentary 20-minute conversation. It won't cost you a cent and won't carry with it any kind of obligation. Again, that number to call or text is 520-333-7601. Mark, it's been my pleasure to hang out with you again today. Always fun when we get together.
Likewise, happy to be here, and if I could be of help to anybody, let us know. I know timing is of the essence, so whenever you're ready, we're here if we can help you in any way.
Join us again next time on the next edition of Saving with Silverman with Mark Silverman, your certified financial planner professional.
The Saving with Silverman podcast is brought to you by Silverman & Associates Wealth Management, LLC, based in Tucson, Arizona. The show is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and everywhere you listen to shows. Subscribe to the show on your favorite app today and never miss an episode. Just search for Saving with Silverman to find us, or visit savingwithsilverman.com to listen to past episodes, to contact Mark, and to learn more about how to make smarter decisions with your money.
Did you know that Mark Silverman also has a radio show? Tune in to Saving with Silverman Saturdays and Sundays at 3 p.m. on AM 790 KNST.
All matters discussed on this show are for informational purposes only. Opinions expressed are solely those of Silverman & Associates Wealth Management, LLC, and staff. All topics covered are believed to be from reliable sources. However, Silverman & Associates Wealth Management, LLC, makes no representation as to its accuracy or completeness. This show shall in no way be construed as a solicitation to sell securities or investment advisory services to residents of any state other than Arizona or where otherwise permitted. Topics should be discussed with your individual advisor prior to implementation. Fee-based financial planning and investment advisory services offered through Silverman & Associates Wealth Management, LLC, a registered investment advisor in the state of Arizona. Insurance products and services are offered through Silverman & Associates, an affiliated company.